Well, Bob, what a strong storm that the Caribbean's dealing with right now with
Yeah,
Matthew.
and it's been so long, people may become a little bit complacent of it. Just kind of, what's Matthew doing? But I tell you, we have to be very diligent on this one because I tell you, this storm still has the potential to come across the state. There's still some models that suggest that. It's unlikely at this point, but you got to put that out there because in reality, the models that are showing that are fairly reliable, but the most reliable ones keep it just off the coast of Florida, the East Coast, and that's even more damaging as far as that goes because usually when a storm hits, it hits a small area, it moves in, but if it just moves right along the coastline, that means they all get that hurricane force wind all the way up. Yeah, all the way up it. So we'll see how that plays out. Still a lot of ifs, though, when it comes to this storm. We'll keep an eye on it for you, obviously, right here. What you should be doing is preparing for the possibility of tropical storm force winds here along the Suncoast. We are not under any warning at this point, or watch for that matter, but that may be changing as we go through time. Anna Maria webcam showing some showers starting to move in again. Not nearly as much as we saw last night at this time, but boy, they're still firing up and producing some rainfall where they don't need it in some areas that had over 5 inches yesterday. Well, here's the weather headlines, and this is subject to big changes over the upcoming days. A 30 to 60% chance now. This was at 20 to 30 earlier today, and now it's at 30 to 60% chance for tropical storm force winds in our inland counties, DeSoto, Hardee, and Highlands counties. Not so much for Sarasota and Manatee. That chance is at about 30% for Manatee and Sarasota counties. So we'll keep an eye on that number. If that starts to go up, obviously, we have more of a threat here. DeSoto and Hardee County, the winds expected on Thursday, midday through Friday morning, 30 to 40 sustained with gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and that can cause damage. And the coast, our coast, anywhere east winds at 20 to 25 miles an hour. Seas offshore, especially offshore, 6 to 10 feet. We are anticipating some heavy rain bands come through occasionally. We're not on the bad side of the storm, so we're not going to see the inundation of 10 to 15 inches at this point, but we will see some heavier showers move through, I do believe, on Thursday and Friday. Get a look at the rainfall. It's starting to build up. We had a water spout right there near Ruskin in Tampa Bay just about an hour ago. Showers now at the north end of Anna Maria and some heavier rainfall near Palmetto, but not as much and not as widespread. Down to our south, another pretty good band of showers, not very intense lightning developing near Nokomis, stretching down southward, heading off toward Inglewood, although they're moving very slow. In fact, it looks like they just held up there in the last frame or so. So keep that in mind, some moderate to heavy showers, but most of the heavier rain has moved off to the east. Now, there are some watches and warnings. Warnings in terms of flood warning for our area, but watches, tropical storm watch from the 7 Mile Bridge all the way throughout the Keys, the upper Keys, and right there through Miami. That's a tropical storm watch, and that may change over to warning. This last advisory, they had to extend the hurricane watch a little bit further south. It was at Deerfield Beach, and now it's all the way down to near Miami, stretching up all the way to Daytona Beach. So that's a large area to be under a hurricane watch, and that's simply because the storm may parallel the coast and cause all sorts of havoc across the eastern portion of the state. I mentioned the warnings now in effect for some of the rivers and streams. Obviously, the Manatee River near the Myakka Head, some flooding there going on. Also, the Horse Creek, as well as the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park, some flooding conditions as a result of the heavy rain yesterday. Currently, it's 82, cloudy skies, and the pressure 29.80 inches, northeast winds at 9. The high today, another hot one, 93. That's 2 degrees shy of a record of 95 and 0.06 of an inch of rainfall. Well, we'll get to the tropics real quickly. There's several players. That's the reason why the models are confused right now. We have another tropical storm. This is Nicole. We have some dry air. On top of that, a high pressure in the mid-levels, driving this off to the northwest. This trough is going to exit to the northeast. That may allow this high pressure to build in and kind of block everything and cause this storm to hit Florida more so. And the European model suggesting that that's going to happen. High pressure is going to build in a little bit stronger and force this storm to be more on a northwesterly course in time. As far as the pounding goes, right now it's hitting the eastern tip of Cuba, just about ready to move on shore in Guantanamo. And it's still bringing tremendous and torrential rains into Haiti. And the warnings are out for most of the Bahamas tonight as the storm moves off to the northwest. And again, the timing of it appears to be for us Thursday and early Friday. This particular map shows the storm center offshore, but that can change, and it has been over the past several days. As we said, with this storm, it's going to change quite a bit. Now, I want to show you these models before we get to our forecast. You can see they're starting to lean this way a little bit more, and these are the Navy models I talked about earlier, heading more toward the coast. Even if it were to do this, by the way, it doesn't appear that we'd see a hurricane, but maybe a Category 1 if it moves in as a 4, but it would not be the devastating storm that they're seeing right now and could see along the southeast coast of Florida. Winds will be out of the northeast tomorrow, 5 to 10 knots. Lots to watch over the upcoming 48 hours. A light chop in the bays and inland waters. And the water temperature of very warm, 85 degrees. Tides upcoming on your screen, 9:12 for the next low tide and sunset at 7:13. Tonight, looks pretty good. Partly cloudy skies, a 40% chance for showers and storms tomorrow afternoon, and then better chances turning windy, and we'll watch closely as we see what Matthew does.